What's up, team? With the BMF title fight coming up at UFC 300, I thought it would be good time to go over my personal top Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, or Max Holloway, unfortunately. Starting off the list today at number 3 spot has to be Michael the Count Bisping. What makes Bisping a BMF contender was Bisping's career started before the USADA era, meaning the UFC was pretty relaxed on their testing for steroids, leading to a lot of fighters to abuse this. Dan Henderson, Chael Sonnen, and Vitor Belfort, who had all popped for steroids at some point in their career. In the Belfort fight, Bisping received a massive head kick, which resulted in Bisping losing vision in that eye. However, this still wasn't enough to stop Bisping, as he would go on to lie to get past eye exams and continue his career with one eye. On June 4th, 2016, Bisping finally got his shot at a title. However, it came on 2 weeks' notice against the champion Luke Rockhold, who had previously choked out Bisping in 2014, but with Bisping would lose his next fight against a returning GSP, he lost by choke in the 3rd round. Bisping would then go on to retire after getting knocked out by Kelvin Gastelum, which was another fight he took on short notice. Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have the Thanos of the MMA world, Alex Pereira. Alex started his career in kickboxing with over 40 fights spanning 2 weight divisions. Alex would become the first ever Glory 2-weight champion. During this time, he would have 2 fights against Israel Adesanya. Alex would win their first encounter via decision, and their second fight, he would KO Izzy with his infamous left hook, sending Izzy to MMA to make a name for himself. Alex then carried on destroying his opponents in Glory until he saw the money and success Izzy was having in MMA. Alex made the jump to the UFC, where he was able to earn a title fight in his 4th fight due to the history with him and the current champ Izzy. Izzy would go on to outpoint Alex over the first 4 rounds, but Alex rallied back in the 5th round and showed true to his name, hands of stone, and trapping Izzy against the fence and finishing the fight with a barrage of punches, becoming the first and only man to finish Izzy in the UFC. The UFC granted Izzy an immediate rematch, where this time Alex would then move up to light heavyweight, where he would fight Jan Blachowicz, only other man to beat Izzy in the UFC, albeit at light heavyweight. Alex was granted a split decision, propelling him to a title fight against Yuri Prochaska, where he would drop him with a left hook. Is a fighter that was more known for his antics outside of the cage. This fighter only had 1 fight in the UFC. He grew up in southeast London in the 80s, where football hooliganism and street fights were on the rise. Have you guessed who the fighter could be yet? Well, taking the number 1 spot on my BMF list is none other than Lightning Lee Murray. What puts Murray at the top of this list with only 1 fight in the UFC? Like I mentioned before, it was Lee's antics outside of the octagon that puts him in the number 1 spot. Lee Murray had a street fight with Tito Ortiz, where he would knock Tito out cold and stomp on him until he was pulled off him. In 2005, Murray's MMA career was cut short after he was stabbed multiple times outside a Mayfair nightclub. This would lead Lee to fall back into his life of crime. On the evening of February 21st, 2006, Lee and his gang of criminals committed the largest robbery in England, where they would steal over £50 million from a cash depot in Tonbridge, England. After this, Lee escaped to Morocco, where he was able to live due to the no extradition laws and his father being a Moroccan citizen. However, Lee was eventually arrested on the 25th of June 2006 in Morocco and received a 25-year sentence. In 2010, Murray was sentenced to 25 years in prison, where he still is till this day. Murray has a release date of 2035, and as of this point in time, $32 million of the $50 million stolen is still unaccounted for. As usual, team, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and don't forget to comment your top 3 BMF list.